My name is Deanna. I identify as the Enneagram type 8.
Kind of like I'm just going to become so strong that, or at least appear so strong that no one can hurt me, or at least they won't know it. I just don't want to feel victimized again. I don't want to feel like I can be wounded. I kind of started on my Enneagram journey because I had a very dear friend say that she had listened to an Enneagram podcast, and she didn't tell me what type I was, but she was like, I knew this type was you. They said they just have oozing confidence, like they walk into a room and you know they're there. And I was like, okay, yes, all those things do sound accurate. And so I went and I took the test. And I did. I typed as an Enneagram 8, and I heard all those wonderful things she was telling me about. And then I had that, big oof moment, like knife through the heart, where I realized that I did get the great parts of being an 8. And I also identified with the really hard things about being an 8, including the childhood wound that I related to wanting to be strong so that nobody could hurt me, wanting to be in control and being afraid of being controlled by others because that would mean I'd have to be vulnerable. And that was a big no at the time, especially when I was younger. So I really connected to a lot of those things. I'm talking about how that was really empowering for me then and now is I kind of got that mindset when I realized that I was fat and that it was something that made me really insecure. I felt like I got a lot of negative messages from the world and from my peers and even from family. And I was kind of like, I'm just going to become so strong that, or at least appear so strong that no one can hurt me, or at least they won't know it. And that even extended as I got older and I was receiving negative messages about being a woman. I was like, I don't care if I'm a woman. I'm always going to be stronger, smarter, whatever you want to call it. I just don't want to feel victimized again. I don't want to feel like I can be wounded. At times I was even like, I'd rather wound myself before you can and at least control where exactly I'm wounding myself. And it's been very helpful in me moving forward in that way, and then also kind of fighting for my peers and recognizing what I deserve. My mom often said it. She was called constantly when I was in elementary and middle school because I was getting into fights with other kids. And she had a hard time reprimanding and punishing me because I always got into fights to protect other people. So I don't think that's changed. That's one thing I kind of hope doesn't. If I have to get in trouble, I'd rather get in trouble for a good cause. The way that I find it hard to operate in this world has to do with how I feel misunderstood. That this kind of need of me like coming against and swearing and being confident and being loud, like that's not to necessarily want to make you feel threatened or make you feel small or whatever that is. That's just me kind of existing as my full self. That's me kind of being like, whatever we need to deal with, let's deal with it head on. Let's get it all out there. And any truth, as long as it's spoken, can be conquered and can be taken care of. Like, no matter how bad it is. And that got me into some trouble. So I would say I found it helpful in therapy that I've had a lot of clients be like, I don't want to say something because I feel like it's too bad. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, however you feel or think, like it is not necessarily bad. Like no feeling in and of itself is bad. I was like, however, we can act on feelings in a way that is either helpful or harmful. But no feeling in and of itself will ever be bad, at least not in my room and when they're with me. But I had a real coming to moment where I kind of realized that in protecting myself, I was keeping other people away from me. And in trying to prevent myself from being weak or vulnerable, I was really missing out on enjoying and living into the intensity of the full spectrum of human emotions. And more than that, it's kind of what led me to counseling. I realized that the thing that I felt like really added quality and joy to my life was being connected to others and feeling as though I made a difference, and if not the world, in my world. So in many ways, I kind of struggle sometimes to relate to eights that are just still like constantly coming against, constantly denying some softer emotions. I guess soft is a matter of perspective if it always kind of feels hard and difficult to us. So in times I have difficulty relating to eights, and I have been told, more tactful than the average eight. But I will say the moments I am tactful are a deliberate choice. I don't do it naturally. So that is how my kind of lived experience is as an eight. I hope other people relate to it. I hope we can start a conversation about it, and I'm really grateful that I was asked to participate in this confessional. Thank you guys so much.